So, time linear, stacking memories. What you got?
So, Carlos, we're talking about thought and memory. So, memory is the past, how we've accumulated experience or memory. And the way we accumulate memory is all past memories are stored in our DNA. And then as we accumulate new memories, we add this in a stacking fashion, meaning this is how we perceive time being linear when in reality time is circular. Time just goes like this. We stack our knowledge upon the base of what we've learned prior to that. So we're just adding new experiences by stacking them. That's why we feel like time is linear when in reality time is just, it's one big circle, meaning it's actually like an onion and has so many layers of cycle upon cycle upon cycle upon cycle upon cycle. So we're all experiencing, even though we just completed 3 or 4 major outer planet conjunctions, which affects all of our collective consciousness. So the way we experienced time was through experiencing matter, the 3D reality, and there is what's ending. So we're not going to stack our new memories linear like this way. We'll be able to pull from the past, present, and future at any moment in our experience. So this is that higher dimension of understanding. This is where we're going to go once this whole process of our DNA being upgraded to handle new memory, or not putting memory by stacking it upon previous knowledge. We'll be able to access what's called the Akashic records, meaning everything that has been, is, and will be. So that means we're timeless once we evolve into that 5th dimension of conscious awareness. So does that help you understand linear time versus circular time? So some say subjective versus objective. And this is what our brains are bringing back. Like our left brain is logic, so that's what we stack, in a linear fashion, but I would view it more like this way. Okay, we're adding. You don't really add this way. So we have experiences in a circular fashion. So our memories are triggered by these cycles, meaning the memory of a past action. That's what some people term karma, sin, pain, memory, all the same.
Oh my gosh.
When we project our thoughts into the future, so we are creating a thought that makes a vibrational wave, and it becomes an electrical waveform that goes out into the future. And that is our thoughts, what causes an attraction to come back to us. So that's kind of what we're dealing with right now.
Next question.
Yes.
Okay, so this is going to be like a really stupid, weird question.
Stupid, weird question. Is there such a thing?
We are on December the 6th.
Yes, sir. 12/6.
2021. What are we in for?
2021. Well, the first part of 2021 will be kind of dealing with all this, integrating all this new energetic presence that we've felt, which is this higher vibration. And we will be integrating, letting go of some of the old stuff that people are still holding on to. They will have to get rid of that. So 2021 should be, the first part, January, February, will have a lot of its challenges. But late March, April, May, we'll start to ease into this new reality, and we'll definitely look back at 2020 as a defining point where we, ended a complete era. So this is this year of transition. 2022 is probably when people will start to feel like they've integrated, but 2021 will be a transition year.
2021, is it going to come off? So, word on the street.
Okay.
The year 2020, unless those that kept up with it from 2019, because the information was out there in the year 2019 from October to December. But different strokes for different folks. But when it hit the fan for America, roughly between March 9th and March 13th, oh, here we got this thing called this thing, and we have to lock things down. So because of that, 2020, the average got caught with, well, at least you had January, February, and March of normalcy. That is 90 days. That's roughly about, give or take, 88, 90 days of normalcy until the shit hits the fan. The year 2021, you're spilling over with shit that has not been reconciled from the year of 2020, and you are spilling over into January. Translation, for the normies, or should I say those that were daft and failed to prepare, see the last videos from the other ones that you guys that we've been posting. However, it's like, wait a second, something's not quite, you see what I'm getting at?
Oh yeah, sure. Well,
2021, we've got an extra 90 days of bullshit to put up with. I don't want to use the word bullshit, but, well, anyway, the moral to the story is, last year, guess what? Out of 365, everybody subtract 90 days. You didn't have to deal with bullshit from January through March because there was no lockdowns going on. However, this year, you're going to roll right on over from 2020 to 2021.
so Carlos,
Now, word on the street is 2021 ain't going to be no different. From a planetary explanation, word on the street, planetary explanation, as well as the people. That's an extra 90 days of pressure now. That everybody, and I'm not quite sure, I'm not going to say everybody hasn't, and I hate the word awoke, but it didn't turn awoke, you woke, into
Carlos,
something ugly.
Let
It's
me
not
ask you a
ugly.
question. Think back to 2019, and your world was going along pretty much normal, when you say. I mean, you had a lot of challenges, right? But your world was operating on the way your mental process had thought it should for the last 30 years.
Something
I mean,
right.
we were still chasing our old desires.
But something wasn't right though. Something,
But
shit wasn't natural.
You knew stuff was changing. So, but my point is,
You're right.
2020 was the year that had to occur the way it did to wipe away our old personality. It had to. So it was coming into 2020. I was like, how will this affect me personally? And I was like, I don't see this. How can something affect everybody in the world? I couldn't conceive of anything possible. And so think about that event that happened in March, and that was Jupiter-Pluto conjuncting for the first time. Jupiter-Pluto conjuncted 3 times in 2020. So that's what made 2020 like a motherfucker. But it also, but
okay.
Jupiter-Pluto is also the millionaire maker conjunction, meaning Jupiter can expand Pluto's power. So if you're utilizing Pluto's power in the right way, you can take this Jupiter excess abundance and you can take and explode power. And that's what's happening now. But the dark is using it one way. The light, the dark dropped the curtain this year at the end of the year, using these transits to deceive us. They knew that Neptune being in retrograde was illusionary. They could gaslight us. All of everything in public purview has been gaslighting. Illusions, falsehoods, lies, deceptions.
What does gaslight mean?
Gaslight is, I will tell you something until you believe it. So I'm spewing a hazy story that says, Carlos, you are this. And you said, no, I'm not. Carlos, you are this. No, I'm not. Carlos, you are this. No, I'm not. Hey, my buddy over here, Carlos is that. Oh. So he starts repeating it. Then the next person starts repeating it. And this person. So suddenly everybody's saying the same thing, and you know you're not. But they're gaslighting. That's called gaslighting. I mean, they projected this hazy image of who you are. So your own mind starts to accept that as reality. And that's where we are right now. We're all been gaslighted right up to this point. And these eclipses are what's finishing. Done, done, done. It's going to show us Neptune coming direct here recently. That means the gaslighting is over. You follow me? We're done. So we will start to see the reveal. The moon will show us tomorrow through Wednesday. The script will flip, meaning there will be revelations that happen this week. And think about, so you said 90 days, okay?
Uh-huh.
The conjunction happened January 12th.
Mm-hmm.
And we had an eclipse December, right around Christmas, 24th or 25th.
And today's the 6th Sunday.
Yeah. So we had that conjunction happen January 12th. So think of that as like a pebble that dropped into a pond. So people further out in the world, they're not going to feel those ripples till later, okay? So the ripple effect is what took a while for people to feel, and that's why we had a 90-day lag. And then Jupiter-Pluto conjuncted, which exploded. Jupiter is explosive. Pluto represented death, virus, underworld, COVID, covert.
Feng Shui, you're the rat.
Yeah.
Rat. Pestilent year.
Yeah, pestilence. So this all ties together, and so the people who won this year were the ones who were like the rat, and they found the cheese in the cracks. They navigated, found the deals where others couldn't, and there's a lot of. We're in this revolutionary period, so major transitions bring major opportunities. So people who are living in fear, they're missing out on the greatest expansion we're getting ready to go into. Our country is at this point, we're at a Pluto return as the United States. So that is saying the identity of America is being challenged, meaning what is the direction of America as a free society that has the liberty for each one of us to create our reality in this country. This is what they're trying to take away, and that's what when I refer to them putting Christ back on the cross, that means they're taking away our conscious creation through love in our heart chakra. They're going to close this down and say, we're going to tell you what you can create. And if you aren't compliant, you don't wear a mask, you don't inject yourself with what we tell you to inject, then you can't participate in this new society. And that's not free at all, Carlos. Do you see that as being free?
No,
You're giving up freedom for safety. And everybody in history has said once you give away freedom, you never get it back.
Security.
You give up security for freedom, you will lose it.
I want to be secure. Yeah.
So America has to face what we're dealing with and why all the racial tensions, are past, how we were founded. All this is being challenged because we as a collective society need to acknowledge the pain that was caused in the founding of this country, the fear people lived in, and this is what we have to release to go into the future. And,
Totally
and that's when we will all relate to each other in a way where we're not holding on to personal identities. Meaning, you identify as black, I identify as brown, white, green, orange, whatever.
Consciousness.
When we're in space or we're traveling with our mind, there is
to,
no identity.
So
this is what's changing.
Consciousness. All that ever is, was, and will be.
Right. So
And for those who have had near-death experiences, they can tell you this for a fact.
They've seen it, been it, lived it.
Yes. So, yeah. And that's the thing about it. People talk about, well, the whole, why would any common sense human thing or anybody who wants to transcend, you would not look at things and put things in a box the way in which they should be confined in.
You cannot transcend if you're holding on to an identity. Yeah, you can't.
And the near-deathers get to, what'd you think about? They will tell you some stuff, but it wasn't, I was a black guy in my life. That shit don't register when you're checking out.
Do you think,
that shit does not, I had this job. That shit does not register when, we'll talk about that later, because I don't want to tell no one else's story without permission.
Right. We'll
let alone that's another day. For the most part, hell, too much proof. Hell to the no. No.
Right.
No. Sorry. Yeah, that was personal.
So this is the old identities we're leaving behind. So the sooner you try on the new identity, the less pain you'll be suffering.
Wow. What would how are you braving this storm?
I've kept myself in a very high vibe state, which is finding joy in every moment I can, and our real power is creating our reality through the circumstances that present themselves to us. Meaning, each moment, each interaction you have in every day, you have the ability to project your best reality onto that circumstance and transmute it into your benefit. What does that mean? You take shit sandwich and turn it into, something really nice.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been taking shit sandwiches and turning it into what I consider valuable, higher vibrational experiences. And guess what? People walk away and they simply say, "You made me feel better," just by being in your presence. I spoke to a young lady today. She's from Bangladesh, India, and she has Venus Mars conjunct in the her eighth house, and Venus Mars makes when they're close together, it makes somebody really, really pretty, really attractive, and this young lady is no exception. So today she told me, I saw her, and she's usually very, very bright, friendly, outgoing, and I saw her and she was very agitated. And I said, my emotional attunement felt that. So I asked her, "So what's going on?" And she said, "Some dude is stalking me here in the club." And the first thing I said to her, before I even thought, I said, "You're attracting that." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Tell me what's going on in your life." And she said, "Well, an old boyfriend of mine came back. He lived out of state. He drove up here and he's stalking me now." So I said, "Okay, you are your fear is triggered right now that you're being stalked by an old boyfriend. So this is the vibration that you're sending out, is this fear of being stalked. So what that does is the first person, the universe, who that ugly low vibe mentality you're attracting it immediately. And she did. And I said, you are in this highly attractive state right now because Venus is in Scorpio right here. That's Venus. Oh, you can't see it on the camera, but Venus is in the sign of Scorpio, which is about death, transformation, trust, intimacy.
No, we can't see that.
Yeah,
we're gonna lose a really good shot.
Yeah, we don't
We don't. Yeah, we're on a roll right now.
Anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it the same way. Yeah.
So Venus is sitting on her Venus and Mars, making her highly, highly attractive. And I told her this. I said, listen, you must ground yourself out of this negative energy that you've created, this negative vibration state, because you will keep attracting these people into your lives until you erase that, ground it out of yourself. And I told her what you need, through yoga, being outdoors, putting up a barrier, saying I will not let these energies in. And so she started thinking about what I told her, and she said she felt better about the stalker, because her mind, the guy in the club just saw how attractive she was. He was just checking her out. So in her mind, she was seeing him as stalking her because of her fear of the old boyfriend.
Oh.
So when we live in, this is a great example, when we live in fear, guess what we attract? Circumstances that trigger our fear. So that's why they say, fear is the only thing you should fear, fear itself. And when we don't fear fear, which is just a chemical reaction from our ego saying, oh, my physical self is threatened.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
Very important. So we got to get ready for 2021. Still need see if we can narrow that down for you.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Do you think you're on the naughty or nice list? And I'll tell you how good 21's going to be. Have you been naughty or nice?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
No, why do you say that? Have you been a little of both?
Who am I to judge? Maybe I could have hurt somebody's feelings.
Okay.
Maybe I could have did something that, speaking of which, I got my calendar. I've been showing you this calendar since we've been filming.
Right.
So check this out. I'm going to go backwards. Today is the 6th. Wednesday and Thursday. December the 2nd and 3rd. That was that day of crossover. Okay, bam. You got spit out on the 30th. The birth canal, Monday the 30th. 11:30. That was Monday. December the 1st was Tuesday. Wednesday was the 2nd. On the 2nd and the 3rd, that was that period. We talked about that in the last video and over the phone. That was that period that you're going to feel a little Quasimodo because you just got spit out the birth canal. Saturday, you got a side to pick. You need to get ready and draw a line. We took extensive notes on this and we memorized all this.
Right.
Today is Sunday the 6th. Another important date we talked about from the last video was the 11th and the 18th of December. Both just hypothetically just falls on Friday, December. Now, going into 2021.
So Jupiter goes into Saturn on the 18th. That's why that's significant. And this is when we'll feel pressure let off of our physical body in our bones, our joints, our teeth. Saturn affects, when it's in Capricorn, it affects our physical structures. So leaving Capricorn going into Aquarius. Aquarius is about circulation and your